Hey, good morning. It's B-Rad Celebrity Hairstylist here, the host of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast, but also the admin for the Canadian Hairstylist Network. So if you're watching the replay, make sure you like, you comment. Today we have an exciting guest who's going to talk about green, going green. Is your salon green? So basically, if you're here, say hi, write in the comments if you have any questions for Alicia, and then that way we can get started, we'll get rolling, and everything is going to be amazing. It's live, it's interactive, so we're all here. So we're basically starting in about 3 minutes, and then we're going to get rolling. So a little bit about the Canadian Hairstylist Network. So this is a group of hairstylists from Canada. So it's Canadian run, Canadian hairstylists that are involved, so we can network, help each other, bring people to higher levels of education where we're a little bit different, where we set ourselves apart, where we don't have a lot of content in here, where it's posts that kind of are on every other hair group. And because we're totally Canadian, where focus is on Canadian educators, Canadian events, things that involve networking with each other, that we can help each other grow, help each other learn, be part of a community that is interested in you and taking you to the next level, helping you be better, just bringing things in. Like today with our guest, we're going to learn how to have a green salon. I think a green salon, for some people, it's a much better advantage for you, healthier, better for the clients, better for the staff, better for the salon as far as attracting new clients. So we're going to invite our guest on, and if you have any questions, like I said, make sure that you put your questions in the comments. So just below. So once we start, then Alicia has some things to answer for you, and then we'll get rolling. So yeah, say hi. So if you're here, say hi in the comments. We'd like to hear from you, and then we know who's on. But we're going to start probably in about just a minute. As I say, I'm B-Rad Celebrity Hairstylist, the host of the Hairstylist Empowerment Podcast, also the admin for the Canadian Hairstylist Network. I love that you're here, that you came on today, you made a commitment to be here, and you're committed to higher education, that you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to have your business succeed. And that's why we're doing a lot of these trainings, a lot of these lives, so we can empower you, that you can embrace the group, you can network with the group, you can learn, you can be better. And so today we're going to start off by going green, because a lot of times you got to take out all the stuff, and then we're going to go green. So we're going to talk to Alicia now. So I'm going to bring her in. So I want to say, there we go. So we're going to say welcome, and we'll bring her in. So good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So everyone, so if you want to say hi to Alicia, and if you have any questions, just mark them into the bottom there, and then we're going to get this rolling. So I want to say welcome to the Network Live, the Canadian Hairstylist Network Live. So what we're going to do is, Alicia, I'm going to see, since we're here, if you can kind of give us a little bit about your background, just kind of tell us about yourself and kind of where you're at.
For sure. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. So I own a salon in Toronto, Ontario, and our whole premise is sustainability, beauty, and community. It's pretty dear to my heart, how I like to live my life, and definitely something I strive for every day.
Have you?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm getting a little bit ahead of you. But have you always been sustainable minded? Have you always worked in a green salon?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So I worked for almost 10 years before I opened my place at John Steinberg's. And unfortunately, green was kind of still a new thing. So it wasn't something that the owner at the time wanted to do, which is fine. So So they were a L'Oreal salon and just a classic salon. Did all the
Yes.
classic salon things.
Yeah.
Just had the pleasure of working with some really awesome people.
Hmm.
And before that, I did makeup, and then before that, I did fashion.
Okay.
And
So how did you find, so working at that type of salon, did you find that the products they were using were bothering you, or you saw a need? What made you
100%.
think? Yeah.
So maybe a little bit more than 10 years ago, I realized
Mhm.
that I was having a number of digestive issues.
Oh, okay.
So I started to experiment and just see what was what. Check out some doctors, do some food sensitivity
Mhm.
testings, and so I found I had a lot of allergens, and I started to use
Mhm.
cleaner products at home.
Okay.
Less ingredients, more natural, uber hippie.
Yes.
Make your own stuff kind of mixes.
Mhm.
Um, and so when I would go to work, I actually noticed after a weekend that I would have a headache just using regular shampoo. Uh,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
not like L'Oreal or Kerastase
Yeah.
is a bad product,
No.
say, but their perfume levels are definitely a lot
Hmm.
higher. So that was a pretty big factor for me. If I'm just doing a
Hmm.
shampoo and conditioner and I'm getting a massive headache,
Yes.
I haven't been exposed to those just high intensity
Hmm.
scents or toxins for
Yeah.
a couple of days. I think that's a pretty big impression that it leaves on me.
Oh, it
Uh,
is, because I found even the same for me. I'm very sensitive to fragrance, and especially
yeah,
chemical fragrance. Natural occurring is a little bit different, but when I used to use a lot of professional brands, my scalp would just itch, like
yeah.
when in the shower, and it's just like, and it's like for you when you're first looking, how did you go about trying to find some sustainable products?
Um, I definitely feel like over 10 years ago, that was a hot mess of a market.
Hmm.
Um, Even to this day, I'm not the kind of hairdresser who wants to understand every single Latin scientific word out there. That's not what I do. I'm not a scientist.
No.
I'm not
Hmm.
making formulas. I don't have a desire to learn every single one.
Yes.
But I do definitely want to look them up a couple times and kind of get
Hmm.
a few big no-nos in my mind so I know
Yes.
what's what. Um, so there was definitely lots of that. So I started to kind of look at products that way. I really actually
Hmm.
just started to just make my own things.
Oh,
Um,
perfect. Yeah.
because of the diet thing as well, I started to
Hmm.
have almond milk
Okay.
instead of dairy.
Hmm.
So if I made my own almond milk, I'd take the meal from it and add in some olive oil and some sea salt and lavender essential oils, and that would become my body scrub for everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I guess there's so many natural things that we can use that are much healthier. The same because I do cashew milk. So I don't really myself have a lot of animal products.
yeah,
When I was having my salon, like you, I was really, I would say allergic, but kind of adverse to the product line that the salon was using. And it's like, there must be something better because a lot of times clients are complaining, saying, this is itchy or this smells, or, especially with a lot of lines, color lines that have a lot of ammonia and a lot of different things, even products, because I think a big thing is a lot of people I know for myself, they want more either low or natural fragrance or no fragrance. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But for me, I would prefer having nothing. And when I opened my shop, I first went from, trying to find greener products to getting stuff that was more sustainable, recyclable. Then, like you, started making my own line of products, and then or going greener as far as using healthier cleaning products, right?
Yeah.
And then the next step, having a greener salon. And then I actually took something totally different and became a natural builder. So, which
Cool.
is like cob. So it's earth, clay, sand, water, and straw. And then you build these cob homes. So it's the taking the more natural, but
Yeah.
living in the woods for like 3 months in a tent, being in nature is
Yeah.
is totally is totally different. But when
You learn
you
a lot of
open
different things and start to use a lot of different resources.
so when you opened your salon and you knew you wanted to go green, what kind of things did you didn't know that you found out, or kind of what are the steps for the salon to go greener, or having a green salon?
Yeah, so I guess the first thing was, I had to have a color line that matched my values.
Mm-hmm.
That was more or less majority plant-based, because I do
Mm-hmm.
find, yes, you can still have harsh chemicals
Mm-hmm.
in a plant-based product, but
Yes.
generally some things, just if a brand's deciding to be plant-based, they're going to be a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more conscious about things.
Yes.
Not always,
No.
but they're hopefully going
Yeah.
in that direction.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it had to work.
Yes.
So, because we all know there's no point in opening a salon if you don't have a color line that works.
No, and I think that's the main thing, because I think for a lot of people, because they, number one, think something a little bit more on the natural side or greener side is not going to cover gray. And
That is 100% what I dealt with for the first couple of years.
okay.
Clients, especially going from a downtown L'Oreal salon to my Uber green
Yes.
new color line. There is a lot of concerns,
Hmm.
so we used Davines.
Yes.
And to be quite honest, I didn't actually know that Davines had a color line. I just thought
Oh,
they had a
okay.
product line.
The product line, yes. Yeah.
And so I asked them about their product line when I was there, getting a tour and checking out their
Hmm.
products. I realized that they had a color line, and I was like, okay. Well, let's find out some reviews of what their color line can do.
Hmm.
And to be quite honest, there are some things that people will have trouble with their color
Hmm.
line, and they
Yes.
have changed it over the last few years.
Hmm.
But I would honestly say those are the same problems you're going to have with any color line if you don't know how to adapt your
Well,
formula
of course.
for
Yeah.
coverage.
And I think with some, you have to know, do I have to mix lighter? Do I have to mix darker? How much
Yeah.
pigment is it?
Yeah.
What's the undertone? And then are there different steps for gray coverage? But if your clients are sensitive, then do you find that what's it like as far as like a fragrance? So if people have it on, do they find it strong for them, or it seems to be
No,
okay?
I think that was definitely one of the things that I did have from the clients that followed me as well, was
Okay.
they found there was less itching. They found there
Hmm.
was less harsh scent. Even when you,
Hmm.
you go to the sink and you emulsify a little bit and you're kind of like
Yes.
choking up yourself,
Yeah.
you have a mask on your own face.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well, even
very
in
rare
some
that it's
colors,
like
yeah, because some colors they have that oxidation where you kind of have to mix it, leave it for a bit, and then
that.
where you can't mix it and bring it right over, because the
Yeah.
air has to kind of get rid of some of that
Yeah.
the smell that's in it.
It's
What
pretty
would
good
be
in that sense.
Yeah, so it's much better, and it's good to find a line. I guess it's really tough too, because I know for me, I kind of try stuff for a while, or have some clients that I use it on first before I actually bring the line in. And
Yeah.
because I want to make sure, are they going to have a reaction? What's the length of time? And that's the thing, because obviously permanent color is permanent, but with a lot of clients, they think it just fades off. It's like, no, those are roots.
I've always loved that.
It doesn't just fade off.
Yeah.
But what would be the benefits for staff members? So bringing it in, when you brought it into your shop, going green, what kind of benefits was it better for the members of your staff?
Um, I suppose I guess that's a now question, because I didn't
Yeah.
have that many starting with me when I
Hmm.
first opened. I would definitely say I feel like my team is pretty happy and health conscious
Okay.
overall.
Hmm.
So they're excited to be in a workspace that cares about these things and is
Hmm.
obviously by default caring about their health overall.
Yes. Hmm.
Um,
So, so with your choice to go with green circle salons, did you find that the staff had an issue with kind of separating the foils, the plastics, or kind of what's the process that you do with green
um,
circle salons?
no, I do have a pretty young team, so I do feel
Hmm.
that they're pretty active and caring
Yes.
about those things.
Hmm.
So they don't seem to. I've started that way. So like I
Okay.
already knew going into opening the salon that I was going to have screen circles. It was
Okay. Yeah.
definitely a factor of if you were coming in,
Hmm.
then these were the rules.
Yes.
You abided by them. If you didn't like
Hmm.
them, I, I'm kind of the person that if you don't like the rules, then you can leave.
Hmm.
There's the door.
Yeah.
Know where it is.
Well, people,
You're not
well,
held
I think well, I also think anybody coming into your salon kind of knows before that you are green based, you are sustainable based, you are, you know what I mean, and you're doing more in your salon. I think it would create a much healthier environment, that
Yeah.
it would be, um, a lot, the air would be a lot cleaner, the smell would be a lot cleaner. I know for some it's tough, maybe, oh, I've got to now put the foils here, I got to put the plastic here, I have to. But I think with green circles it's a great service where they come, they'll bring the boxes, and they also take it away as well, correct?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I do believe that they're changing the system slightly. So I've
Okay.
been with them for 5 years, and
Hmm.
um, they are a Toronto-based company. So
Okay.
we have had them just come at a certain
Hmm.
pre-planned date to pick
Yes.
up our bags.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
but I believe they're transitioning to you fill up a box and then it gets delivered back to them.
Oh. Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm not entirely sure.
No, no, no.
This
Yeah.
is just what
But
I've
I,
heard from some new people that
yeah.
are signing up with them. And I do know
Yeah.
that in other places, um, other cities throughout North
Hmm.
America, because they're all across North America now,
Yes.
that use them and they don't have a manufacturer's facility close to them. They do have those ones
Okay.
shipped.
Hmm.
But I mean, they have it all figured out. Like all the
Hmm.
logistics are figured out. You're not doing some
Yeah.
extra fancy thing of finding a courier, finding the boxes. That's not
No.
something that you have to do.
And it makes it easier. So as I say, now we know about your staff. So what about the clients? So what, by going greener, what are
Yeah.
the benefits for your clients? So a client coming in from a regular salon that uses a lot of ammoniated color and doesn't recycle, and that, what's the difference for them coming in?
So first and foremost, I've always loved the fact over the years continuing to hear when clients come in for the first time
Hmm.
or years later, they always say it does not smell like a salon in here.
Yes.
It smells
Hmm.
nice.
Hmm.
They like the smell and
Yeah.
they're not suffocated from the smell. And I think
Yeah.
I don't know about yourself, but I've definitely had a
Mhm.
lot of clients who are headache sensitive
Hmm. Yeah,
to
I am
them.
very much so. Yeah, and it's a fragrance like that's a trigger for me. And a lot of my friends that are in salons, I can't go there anymore, even to pop in, say hi, visit, because you get that chemical fume smell
Yeah,
right in your face, especially if they're doing a lot of highlights or chemical service, or even in general, just sometimes the strong fragrance of the product is
yeah.
just enough to
Which then
trigger it
means
for
if
me.
someone isn't having a headache because of the
Hmm.
simply because of the scent in the space, it
Hmm.
doesn't even matter what they're doing in your space, just
No.
simply being there. Um,
Hmm.
they're going to want to enjoy being there longer. They're going to
Hmm.
actually enjoy their experience. They're not going to feel frustrated that they have to go. And then on top of that, I think we're in a world right now where people are starting to be a little bit more conscious about their actions.
Hmm.
They don't necessarily know how to change their lives,
Yes.
but they
Yeah.
know that they're spending money somewhere that is doing it for them.
Hmm. Yeah,
So they're constantly changing that step.
yeah, and I think people are looking for something different, looking for something new. They're looking for something better. So just get on here. So this is a new platform. So everybody, if you're watching, we're here with Alicia Lumsden. Did I get your name right?
No, it's
No,
okay.
not at all.
The N is an M, and I
Oh,
pronounce it Alicia, but I don't fuss over it.
Oh, really?
Alicia Lumsden.
Okay.
It's all
That's
good.
fine. So yeah, so if you're just joining us today, we're talking about green anchors as a place for me. It's about going green, being more sustainable and much better. So we're glad you're joined. We've been through some things right now. So the next thing I'd like to ask Alicia is, so what are the steps for a green salon? So if I wanted to go green, how would I go green? What would be those steps?
I think the first and foremost simple things is incorporating green circles.
Mm-hmm.
It's not costing you. You literally pass the cost on to the client.
Mm-hmm.
And if they ask, which, sometimes our clients ask questions, and usually they just want to understand. They're not asking because they don't want to pay something. They're just asking because they're just like, oh, that's not what I pre-calculated in my head.
Mm-hmm.
What is this extra thing? And when you tell them it's $2 or $3, or some people do $1.50, people aren't really that concerned about that. And when you tell them that you're literally using that to recycle everything at the manufacturer, they're pretty excited about it. Next is slowly change your light bulbs. If you can, every time one goes out, instead of getting a regular incandescent one, you get an LED. Every time an appliance goes down, your next purchase is a green Energy Star machine. I'm definitely not an advocate as being a sustainable salon. I'm not an advocate for throwing something in the garbage that is perfectly usable.
Yes.
I think that's just as much waste as is not changing in the long run. So when it breaks, then you change it. Be mindful of just, I guess, your water consumption, your product waste.
Yes.
You can, if you want to, using bullfrog power is always a nice bonus too. It is an additional cost. It's not expensive. I think ours is like $60 or so a month. And that basically just puts money into green power. So basically, you're investing into green power, and you're just showing your clients that you care about those things. Always, if you want to change your color line, that's an expensive one, and your whole team's going to fight you. I would say anything that I've changed within the salon since we've opened with a full team, they fight you at first, and in the end, they're really happy about it. Nobody likes change. Nobody likes change that they didn't choose.
No.
So your team will always fight you. It doesn't mean it's a bad choice.
No. Because I think also as well, because to changing, and that's what I had as well, because you have your regular line, and when you're changing them to a healthier line, it's going to be a little bit more in cost. But I think what the difference is, it's the result. So basically, because you don't have the smell, you don't have the itchy scalp, you don't have it still gives you the same 100% coverage. It still gives you, because I think that's, like we said before, I think that's what they think. If you put it on, it's not going to last as long. I'm paying more. It's, all these things that go through their head. But for me to be in an environment where I don't have the fumes and I don't have the irritation and I don't have, all that stuff getting from, with regular products, but do you find now the clientele is looking more for greener salons? Is it a new, kind of movement? I won't say new because it's been around for a while, but do you think now people are looking for more sustainable and more greener kind of businesses?
I think it has been trending in the last 2 years. I think with all trends, it takes about 5 years to catch on.
Yeah, I
do think that clients care. And I I would even say I've been surprised and impressed by some of my clients who, in general, I didn't really think that they would care because of
Yes.
the type of consumers that they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that they do care, especially as people start to have kids.
Exactly.
They,
And
they
they
start to
want something
care.
better, and they want something nicer. With a greener, how to use a green salon? How do people find you?
How do people find me?
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I
is it
try
more
to
word
put
of
out,
mouth? Is it social media? Is it your website? Do you put ads out? So how do
yeah,
people know that you're green as opposed to the salon down the road or across the street, or
yeah.
because Toronto is such a large area,
Oh my gosh, yeah,
and they also have the Living Green show there as well. They have, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
obviously there is the clientele. How do you kind of attract them to you, or they just are attracted to you?
Um, my favorite is word of mouth.
Hmm.
Um,
Cheapest.
yeah,
Most
it's always
effective.
the best.
Yeah.
Or referrals.
Hmm.
We're really active on Instagram.
Yes, yes.
So I think that's key.
Hmm.
Um, our website definitely talks about our whole ideal. A
Hmm.
big part of our branding and our logo is actually sustainability beauty community. So it says that on our window, it says that on our
Yeah.
website, it says that on
Yeah. So with your
logo.
tagline, yeah, you carry it through all the way. So anybody that reads that knows exactly who you are
Yeah,
and what you're about,
yeah.
which is perfect, because then it's like they don't come in and, oh, I didn't know.
People still know.
Still.
I did a survey,
Yeah.
and not for several months, not too long
Okay.
ago, and
Hmm.
I think there eventually ends up being so much information that people don't fully know,
No.
and people aren't. Canadians are passive. We're not
Yes.
keen on asking or
Yes.
expressing our concern, unless, of course,
Hmm.
it's virtually.
Yes, of course. Of course.
So there were definitely a couple people who were like, oh, like I would really like if you used products that had this
Hmm.
factor, or I would really like if I could refill. And it was
Hmm.
like, we do.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know how else we're supposed to communicate that because there are so
Hmm.
many things happening already as it
Yeah,
is.
that you can do. I think, and that's the thing, is being connected to the clients, finding the market that you need. Obviously, refill stations are amazing, or
Yeah,
having, you know what I mean, and it's doing that. And I think there's a definite niche for greener salons, or if you
100%.
don't have a green salon, to start considering some options of going green. Like you said, you don't have to do it overnight, close your
No,
shop, and all of a sudden
no,
change
no,
everything.
no.
Like you said, replace a light bulb, start, just doing little bits. And I think over time your clients will start to kind of notice. And I think for me, I kind of did the color over 3 months. So when I knew I was changing my clients and I knew it was going to be a little bit higher, I kind of started them 3 months prior. So they had a couple of, you know, a couple of appointments just before we were switching over, so they know the reason behind it, why I
Yeah,
was changing, why it was better for them. And
yeah,
as soon as they tried it and found it doesn't have the smell, it doesn't have the itch, it still lasts the same amount of time, they were fine with paying that little bit more, because
100%.
it was also better for them, because they know you're doing something not only for the salon and for your staff, you're also really doing something for them. Like you
Yeah,
said, when they come in, they're not going to get hit with this chemical smell. They're not going to, go home with a headache. They're not going to, they know that the products they're purchasing from you are sustainable, or the package
yeah,
is recyclable, and that you do take everything and you do recycle it, right?
yeah.
Recycle the hair, recycle the plastics, recycle the foil. You know what I
We'll
mean?
even recycle the color that you don't use from your bowl and you
Ah,
normally
okay.
dump
Yeah,
out.
put down the drain. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes into a bag and they actually turn that into a fuel. They spin it and
Oh,
get the
really?
acid out,
Okay.
and they turn it
Wow.
into like an energy source.
Hmm. Wow. No, there's so much about green. I mean, I'd say it's uh, like green, I guess I've been like you, I've been green for so long. I just, it's hard to
Yeah,
think of
it's
things
hard to think
another
of it. I
way
was
because you
actually just thinking,
naturally, and that's what I find the toughest thing is sometimes even going to suppliers or looking at products, we're so limited right now
yeah,
with Canadian products. And
yeah,
sometimes that's what people are doing. They're creating their own because there is a need, because
yeah,
their clients have a need.
yeah,
But it's been a great time. So I've just got one last thing. So if you have, just get on here. So
yeah.
if you have a closing nugget of gold, so something that for some people listening, if everybody's listening or if you're watching the replay, we're talking about going green. So you can go back, watch. You can still leave your questions in the comments, and myself or sorry,
Alicia,
Alicia will get back to you. So then that way, if you have any questions, and we're here to kind of help each other. We're here to grow. We're here to level
100%.
up. We're here to get educated. And I think going green is one way to level up. I think one way to show that you actually care about your clients. Because
Yeah,
now we're yes, there's we have a little bit of COVID-19 going on, and yes, our shops are closed, but why not be ready? Because there's going to be precautions when we go back, and why not
now's
make
the
that
time to
change to
innovate.
grow greener, go healthier, get better. Like in the US, I think the state of Virginia now is opening. So Canada, we're not there yet, but they have 7 pages of protocol. So in order to open, you have to follow these 7 pages, which probably means it's probably not safe to open.
Yeah,
No, and now's your time to learn, to grow, to get certified, to learn. And that's why we're kind of doing these lives within the group. So it's just for the group. And then that way, just to recap, we kind of talked about going green, what it takes, about being green. And to say, you talked about having like 10 years ago, there really wasn't anything. And you were kind of working in other salons with other lines,
yeah.
but people really are looking. And I think that's the thing. It's the smell of the product, how you do it, how you mix it. But do you find there's that much of a difference using your greener line of color than just like a regular color line, ammoniated color line? Like as far as mixing, as
Definitely
far as
have
timing,
ammonia and a
yeah.
non-ammonia option. So I don't
Okay.
have the non-ammonia option.
Okay.
Just because I don't have the space at the
Yeah.
moment. Um,
But it's still better fragrance wise. So if you
yeah,
mix it up, it's
we
not going to
literally use
overpower.
like the
Least
least amount
amount
of
for
ammonia
open
they
the
need
cuticle.
to open it.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I do find a big difference. I mean, I'm a Davines fan through and through. Their whole motto is completely in line with our brand. Everything is
Mhm.
on par.
Yes.
I couldn't be better matched with a brand.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
something that believes in family and sustainability and not being the biggest
Mhm.
celebrities, but doing good for the world. And I actually find that their tones last longer.
Oh, okay.
So, like, how you color or tone for the fade.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
If you do that, you'll actually be screwed with
Okay.
deafness. So you just need to
Oh,
color and tone for what you want because it's
okay.
gonna last.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So
because with normal coloring, that's what you get. It's always your roots are a little bit deeper and your ends keep lightening up. So you put more color on, and of course, you know
yeah,
what I mean. If you're not lowering your volume, and the same, it's an endless cycle. So that's something that's really good to know with that line, and people want to kind of check it out to see if it's maybe something beneficial for them, if it
yeah.
works for them. Obviously, your pricing is probably going to be different per. Does it come? Is it a cream? Is it a liquid? Is it a gel? How does it kind of come as a formula?
It's a regular color.
Oh, so,
Yeah,
but I
I have
mean,
it
when
in
it comes
color.
out, does it come out as a cream or does
Yeah,
it come out as a liquid and then you
yeah,
mix it
it's cream,
with a developer? A cream? Okay,
and
so it's
then like
much.
a creamier developer.
Hmm. And then
Um,
you kind of mix it up. And then what would your processing be like? And how does it react as far as doing grays?
still 35 to 45
Okay.
minutes.
Hmm.
Um, and so my trick of the trade is
Yeah.
if you have resistant grays, then you add 5 grams more of your color
Yes.
than you do of your developer. Put that little bit more pigment in. If you have your double naturals, then use those. Davines itself is a lighter because it's a tone on tone type color.
Okay.
So if you are concerned and someone is a darker color that you're doing, then you would probably drop it a shade.
Okay. Yes.
But I think their gray coverage is excellent.
Yeah. And how long have you been using it now?
5 years. And they changed about 2-3 years ago. They reformulated.
So do you find the reformulation made it better?
Even better. It was a little warm before.
Okay. And most clients usually don't like warm for the most part. It could be platinum and they still see red.
Yeah, 100%.
This looks brassy.
Yeah.
It's like ash.
Yeah. Even putting the red light on it.
Exactly. So I'm just going to see if there's any, let's see.
While you look, I'm just gonna, you were asking what my leaving tidbit would be. I honestly think that if the big brands and the magazines are making a lot of fuss and talking about going green, being sustainable, there's a big sustainability movement in fashion right now. I really think in the next 3 to 5 years, all of your clients are going to want that. And at the same time, why not offer them a better, healthier, safer environment as well as for yourself and your team, if that's the way that things are going anyways.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, as I say, it's great to always have those nuggets of gold because, as I say, you've been there, you've done it, you know the difference. You know the difference it made for your staff. You know the difference it made for your clients, and obviously your clients are a lot happier. And you're happier that you found a color line, a product line that you can kind of use. I want to say thank you for coming on today. It's been like the time has just flown.
Yeah, right.
It's just going. As I say, anybody who has any questions, you can leave them in the comments and she'll get back to you. So before we go, I just want you to give a shout out kind of to your, if you have a social media handle, your website, if people want to contact you and like know a little bit more, because sometimes it's easier talking or chatting one-on-one than it is like
100%. And I'm a giver. I am more than happy to help. I 100% believe in community, and that means stylists, salon owners, everyone out there in our crazy worlds. We're all happier and healthier and stronger together versus trying to figure it out all on our own. And I think there's enough of us that have tried to figure out a lot of things on our own and really wish that we had someone to hold our hand at least.
Of course.
A little bit of the way, you know. So you can find me at queenshophair.com or I guess we're on Instagram and Facebook at queenshophair. It's Queens is plural, so it's 2 S's in there before the shop, and then shop is just 1 P.
Okay, perfect. And then we can even write those in the comments below as well. So anybody watching, then that way, if they're listening, they get to hear you. But if they can read it, then it's right there. So I want to say thank you so much. And I want to thank everyone for attending. So at 1 o'clock, if you want to catch me on YouTube, my channel is Brad Celebrity Hairstylist at 1 p.m. Eastern, because we're all in Canada. Well, some people, I guess it's either side of that, for a live Q&A with celebrity stylist Cherise Slade. And I will see you guys there. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you everybody who watched. We plan to do more of these. I'd love to have you on again because you're just a wealth of knowledge. And then maybe we can have you do some more lives, maybe without me, on your own, just kind of sharing some stuff. And once your doors are back open, we can kind of see how, you know, more about going green and anything you want to share. As I say, this group is about helping each other. It's about networking. It's about leveling up. And like you said, sometimes you need, and you wish you had somebody hold your hand, or if I wanted to go green, I could beat the curve. Like I wouldn't have to do all the same. I could learn what you did and I would beat
Yeah,
that curve a lot quicker. So it's much,
100%.
much better. So I want to say thank you, everyone. And if you want to come on, you want to do a live, just message me here. And I want to thank our guests for coming on today. And I'll see you guys next time.